Welcome to CPG Vibes. No scripts,
just chat.
I'm Alex Baer.
And I'm Wade Yenny.
Each episode is recorded live, and we talk all things food and beverage, and so much more.
Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review.
If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com.
Now, let's vibe.
Hello and welcome to episode 136 of CPG Vibes. Hope everyone is doing well. I just want to give a quick disclaimer that there's some power outages here locally, and the internet's been a little shaky today. I'm doing the opposite of jinxing. I'm saying it right up front, so if something happens, you know that it's coming, and Wade will carry the rest of the show, which is not the first time he's done this, but hopefully my internet stays intact. With all that said, Wade, how's it going, buddy?
Well, that being said, we're dealing with the aftermath or the math, I don't know what it is, of the hurricane here. The west of us got beat up pretty bad. I know Gavin, I've been in talks with Gavin down close to the Charlotte area. They got beat up pretty bad. So we might have abbreviated version here if things go completely haywire. We'll see what happens.
I tried unplugging, plugging back in, unplugging, plugging back in. Hitting the side of the TV box, that kind of stuff, in my primordial way of trying to get things to work again, right? Like an ape or something. So hopefully stays intact here for the show. So with all that said, let's get at least the sponsors out, so in case anything gets cut off here, because we want to mention them, right? So first off, this episode is being sponsored by Revival Tea, and they're leading the revival for tea, where they have 4 storefronts in the Washington and Idaho area, and they're also planning to open up 50 franchise tea shops in the next 10 years. And they have a crowdfunding campaign that is running on wefunder.com. So Wade will post that baby up. It's wefunder.com/revival tea. And they have raised nearly $400,000 to date, and they're going for $500,000. So help them hit their goal, invest in the future of tea. They want to be the tea shops. They want to be the Starbucks of tea, essentially, and expand. So really, really cool mission. Drew Henry's a CEO. Make sure to invest in them, and they're my client at Genius Dreams. So good. I helped them with their crowdfunding campaign. They're doing great. Almost at 400,000. Help them get there. All right. And so we are the #1 rated CPG podcast in North America. Help us keep it that way, and go to Apple Podcast and give us 5 stars. We also have sponsorship and block rates. Now, Wade, how many spots are left open for 2024?
I think we're booked up, right?
Zero.
Yeah.
So 2024 is booked up, and we just had someone come on and grab 10 spots for 2025. A valued partner, which we'll announce that in coming weeks, and we have our ongoing sponsors as well. But if you'd like to get sponsorship block rates, if you get 3, 5, or 10. Get exposure on the biggest and the largest CPG podcast in the world, right here at CPG Vibes, to promote your service, to promote your brand, to promote your crowdfunding, to promote yourself, whatever you want to do, promote how beautiful you are, anything you want to mention, you can do right here on the show. And it also is recorded and put on the Apple Podcast and also Spotify.
And YouTube.
I always forget that one. So, and it's youtube.com/@ CPG Vibes. So we are the Mr. Beast of CPG over here. All right. So with all that said, we have our ongoing sponsors, which is Range Me and also My Way 3PL. So first off, with Range Me, they're the smartest way to get your brand in front of thousands of retailers, experience always on brand exposure, exclusive buyer discovery opportunities, and access to proprietary insights, research, and resources. With over 15,000 buyers, Range Me ensures continuous exposure to retail buyers from top retailers like Target, Albertsons, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Publix, Kroger, Costco, Wegmans, H-E-B, Food Lion, Giant Foods, Fresh Market, and many more. But that's not all. Range Me, combined with ECRM category sessions, that's Joe Tarnowski, deliver exclusive live in-person events where you can meet directly with leading national and regional retail buyers for curated face-to-face meetings. Ready to elevate your brand? Visit rangeme.com ActNow.com/CPG Vibes to explore membership options and save up to 30%. Act now and you get your premium membership for $9.99 instead of $13.99. Excuse me. And you get your pro subscription at $16.99 instead of $24.99. Now you got to go to their landing page, which is rangeme.com/CPG Vibes to get any of those discounts. We'll say it once, we'll say it again. If you are a brand and you're not on Range Me, you need to be on Range Me. To me, it's a requirement. And I was a brand owner for 11 years with Genius Juice before I transitioned to doing more consulting and podcasting. So Range Me, we depended on heavily, and brands like Midday Square, many other brands that are on there, thousands that have secured retail spots across the country. So that's arrangeme.com/CPG Vibes. And our other sponsor, which is My Way 3PL. If you're an emerging CPG brand struggling with finding affordable warehousing and e-commerce services for your pallets or products, other 3PL services require large volumes. My Way 3PL does not. Whether you're shipping and storing your first pallet to freighting and storing multiple truckloads, My Way 3PL can service companies at all growth stages. They have a network of 13 distribution centers across the country, and this is ambient. Just want to make sure people know that. It's, as of right now, ambient, not refrigerated or frozen. So they were born out of the pain points that CPG brands go through. They have a solid foundation of proven results in cost savings and operational enhancement, and they offer a true balance of strategy and execution. Partner with My Way 3PL. That's myway3pl.com/CPG Vibes. And same thing, right, Wade? Where they have to go to the landing page and sign up, submit it, and that's how you get those discounts and that express service directly with their owner. So that's all our ongoing sponsors.
Coincidentally, I talked to the mastermind behind My Way 3PL, Barton Howard, and of course his right-hand man, Chase. But I talked to Barton today, and he was very, very complimentary about our audience, and he's gotten several people that have reached out to him through CPG Vibes, and the link that I have up on the screen there. We'll put it back up there for a second. But again, if you need a 3PL, it costs nothing to have a chat about their options and getting a first pallet free. So I think it's well worth the time to have a conversation with Barton and his team. If nothing else, I think you'll find that they are outstanding people that, who knows how you might need a connection in the future. Barton and his team are fantastic. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome stuff. And also who is fantastic is, I'm using Fantastic with a V, is V-Driven. So V-Driven is doing all their Sprout stuff. They have many other services going on, accounting and all that. And this is just a shout out because there's a certain individual that's with the team that I believe is on this podcast. It's not me, so it has to be a process elimination. The guy to my left here, Wade Yenny. But whether he's the co-host or not, I would still tout them because V-Driven is awesome. And if you are a brand looking to get especially into natural retailers or Sprouts, they do all that. So it's really cool. I'm referring a brand today, Wade, over to you guys that does a chocolate. It's a chocolate treat in a pouch. Nice. And they just launched on the East Coast and Whole Foods and Mom's and plenty of other retailers. And now they're looking to get into Sprouts in their innovation set. So that could be a nice little win for them.
Yeah, so. Excellent. Yeah, and we just hosted our monthly masterclass yesterday on promotions and profitability and such. Had a great turnout, great response. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I appreciate the plug. And if you'd like to talk, you can message me on LinkedIn or our website's there. That's the drill. So
cool.
Good stuff.
There's one big mention. Also, the prize for today is a $100. That's triple digit here. $100 gift card to the Revival Tea website. And we'll get that up there, revivaltea.com. But essentially, they have
revivalteacompany.com.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So they have like loose leaf tea. They have other products there. But a phenomenal company. I think they have over 20 or 25 SKUs for loose leaf tea that are high quality. And they, they basically manufacture everything locally right near their tea shop in Washington, so in Spokane. So make sure to stay on for the entire episode, because at the very end, you want to stay on anyway because you want to hear what the hell we have to say, right? But if you don't want to hear what we have to say, at least just stay on, put us on mute, turn it back on later. Actually, no, you can't put us on mute because you got to answer the question, right? So we'll have a trivia question at the end, and you can win a $100 gift card to revivalteacompany.com website. Okay, so with all that said, there's two topics we're going to be, and then, if you have comments, shout them out and we'll shout you out. But the two topics that we have today are going to be trade show strategy, and also we're going to do more of the stuff we love, since that was pandemonium, Wade, last week. People loved it. They wanted to hear more about other products that we love. So we'll go over that on the second half here. But first and foremost, I'm going to pass the torch over to you, Wade, to talk about trade show strategy in 2025.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
So we really don't write a script for this show. And
obviously,
and occasionally we'll text or some say, hey, what do you want to talk about this week? And I thought it might be a good idea to have a conversation about trade shows, because we're talking in September, almost October next week, and looking at budgets for next year as far as expenses. And when you talk about trade shows, you certainly have the travel involved, the lodging involved, the food, entertainment. And if you're actually exhibiting at a trade show, you have all those expenses, samples, etc. So just thought it'd be a good idea to have just a loose conversation. And of course, we have a nice audience here that can contribute to the conversation with input or thoughts from their end. But just some of the key trades or key events. And I think as I was telling Alex, I think the ones obviously that come to mind are the Expo West, fancy food, and there's two fancy food shows. Of course, now we have Newtopia that replaced Expo East, and then there's local or regional distributor shows from both UNFI and Kehe, and there's tabletops that pop up from time to time, and those are very typically regionalized as far as that goes. And IDDBA, NGA. I can probably keep going on for days, Alex, as far as how many their shows on. But what I wanted to do, Alex, was talk a little bit about, and then of course Robert, CHFA,
yep.
In Canada, Canada's Expo West, if you will. But what I wanted to kind of start with, Alex, is talk about going back in your Genius Juice days, putting your Genius hat on. No pressure for you to put a hat on. Thinking about this time of year, are we on schedule with when you would come up with your strategy as far as what you were looking to do in the coming year? Did you play it by ear? Did you have a formal, something lined up? How did you approach it when you were running Genius Juice?
Yeah, and there's the merch link below that Gavin Conkle found. So I think Gavin is hell-bent on winning this $100 prize so that when we see him next, he'll have a T-shirt or a hat on from them. So there's a couple important reasons to start planning right now. Number one, budgetary wise, right? With your team, every quarter, hopefully every month, you're looking at your budget. You're looking at, are you staying within your budget for your spend for marketing and for promotions and for staff and all these different areas, production, working capital. And part of that is a line item for events and trade shows, right? That you have on your P&L typically. So you want to stay within budget and you want to plan out what events that you'd like to target that are going to be the best fit for your product and your brand, right? What's going to make the most sense to attend? We're going to get the biggest ROI, right? So, like for us at Genius Juice, we were looking at natural shows. So, just anything that was on the natural side and also on the produce side because of conventional, like Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilions. So we would start planning in Q4. We would do our budget analysis and go, okay, we're going to spend X amount on trade shows for next year, and we're going to attend these trade shows because the prep on it is monstrous, right? You have plane tickets, hotels for those that are flying in. You have staff you need to hire. You might need to order some updated, banners and graphics for your booth, which takes 2 to 3 months just to get those printed and custom made. And then you have to coordinate the setup and the trucking and the freight. So when it comes down to it, it's 2 to 3 months of planning, and Expo West is about 5 or 6 months away. And also you have to reserve your booth sometimes up to a year in advance, right? People at Expo West 2024 were already reserving the booths for 2025, right? A year in advance. So you're already basically putting the money down for that. And it's hard to kind of get that money back, right? So with all that said, long-winded way of saying we did plan in advance. We picked the shows in advance that we were going to do. And the best shows that we really looked at for our brand, now we're Genius Juice was is a natural brand, very clean, more premium, $6 for a bottle of coconut smoothie. We really looked at Expo West, fancy food show. We looked at UNFI and Kehe as well. And then we also had the produce and floral show, which to me is a hidden gem. They have it at the Anaheim Convention Center, actually. And, Vaughn's is there, Pavilions is there, Stater Brothers is there, Kroger is there, Ralph's and all these guys. And they're all local in SoCal. And there's also some in Arizona and Northern California. QFC came down. So that show is a gem if you're looking to hop across, from natural and start breaking into certain high-end conventional stores along the coast of Washington, Oregon, and also California. So yeah, we got a lot of value. I mean, we got into Pavilions because of that. We got into Vaughn's because of the produce and floral show. But usually you want to be through a broker. I mean, you probably have seen this where the brokers have sections at the trade shows for all their brands, right? Like Fresh Source has their section, and then Impact Sales has their section, Acosta has their section. So you want to be looped in and wired in through your broker if you have one to get in that section so that you can get curated experiences. And the last thing I'll say is Newtopia Now, from what we heard, Wade, seems like it's good to attend, at least either walking or having a booth, because it seemed to be very successful. It was more curated, and I'm hearing lots of great feedback on brands that are securing retail placements from Newtopia Now. So, yeah, so that's my piece on it.
Yeah, so I think a couple of things that I would add on or kind of go from there. First of all, I didn't mention, and I should have mentioned the ECRM shows, and they're part of Range Me or vice versa. You can go there and look at. They have specific shows catered to specific categories. So those, if you really want to get in tune with your buyer, those are good events and to look at. And a lot of these shows, you can look at the attendee list in advance and kind of get a feel for who's going to be there. So the advice I would give would be to fish where the fish are. In other words, we cater the show to the national organic specialty side of the business because that's kind of, the bulk of who we're talking to as opposed to conventional. But, so if you're looking to see who's attending the show, you're looking to see, is the show in line with your brand, your category? Does it make sense? As Alex was talking about, some of the conventional play. If your play is conventional, then you probably want to look at some different opportunities, with regards to some of the larger distributor shows, because for each, we've talked about UNFI Kehe, but for the conventional side, my distributor in Ohio was Spartan Nash, and they have their own shows. And my distributor in Louisiana was AWG; they have their own shows, and so on and so forth. So, I think my best advice is fish where the fish are. Who's your targets, and what shows are they attending, right? And as I said, oftentimes you can see that by going to the show website. They have people that have registered often, not everyone, but oftentimes, so that's a good thing. And then I think too is that budget piece really keeps bubbling up. I mean, if you're just getting started with very little distribution, probably need to think very long and hard about exhibiting at Expo West. Are you ready financially for that commitment? Are you ready from a supply chain? If you have interest, there's, you don't want to get the cart too far before the horse. But what you can do, and we've talked about this in the past, is pay to just go walk the show and understand. And you can connect through the various events, whether it's Startup CPG or, all the different offsite events that are happening, walking the show, meeting people, connecting. It's a lot less expensive and also gives you a feel for maybe if the show's right for you in the future, instead of just going all in and diving in an inch deep water, right? So those are some of the things I think about as far as that goes.
Yeah, exactly right. And, one thing too that I learned when walking the floor is to be incredibly careful about how you approach buyers, right? And category managers. And Wade can attest to this from going to many shows as a buyer. Now he's on the other side of the aisle with V Driven, right? Helping with biz dev and helping brands build their company and their revenue. Is I've learned that if you don't have a set meeting with a buyer and then you try to pounce on them at the at the show, some will be cool about it and be like, yeah, I'm used to this and this happens. Others will get pissed off, and you'll burn a bridge with them, or at least delay any kind of launch or approval with them. So the respectful way to do it is to reach out to these category managers and buyers, decision makers, a month or two before the show and say, I'm going to be there. You're going to be there. I'm a Lebowski. You're a Lebowski, right? Let's meet there, and let's find a time where we can meet. We don't have a booth there. I know you have a busy schedule. Let me know what's best for you, Mr. or Miss Buyer, and I'll meet you on the show floor impromptu and give you some samples, and we'll have a quick chat. And maybe if you're lucky enough, get their cell phone number and just say, hey, I'm not going to bother you. I just want to, it's easier to coordinate by cell phone, right? When you're at the show. From what I've experienced, and I have one more point, but I will have a question that you can answer, which is what the hell a schedule looks like for a buyer from their point of view when you're at a trade show. So I'm going to put that park it in a parking lot, because I have one more thing to say, and then I want to get that answer from you. Is remember, distributor shows, you're creating orders, taking orders right on the show floor. Shows like Expo West and Fancy Food Show, you're not. You're basically building relationships. You're getting feedback on a new product line, and you're trying to shape it and frame it to get your product into a retailer by building the relationship and maybe doing a presentation on the show floor or in a private area, right, in a meeting area at the show. But you're definitely not taking orders or getting POs at the show itself for Expo and Fancy and all these others, or CHFA. Robert can tell us about that. But UNFI and Kehe and other distributor shows, you are there to write orders. A buyer will come up to you and say, you know what deal do you have? Okay, buy 4, get 1. I'll place an order. Here's what's the item number? Okay, and you give them all the UNFI or Kehe information, and then they place that order when they get back to their office. And that's an advantage, right? Where you can place thousands of orders right on the show floor. Obviously, you have to follow up and make sure it gets to the store shelf, right? But at least you get that order going, and they're ordering it and pulling it from the warehouse. Back to the question: what does the typical schedule look like for a buyer when you're walking a major trade show? And I want people to know this, and owners to know this, and VP of sales to understand what a buyer goes through when they're at one of these shows.
Yeah, so I want to touch on what you talked about as far as the orders, and I'll come back to that real quick.
Sure.
But with regards to writing the orders, I think the advantage in some of those shows is, let's say, for example, you're in UNFI in Moreno Valley or Kehe, Chino, what have you, right? And you've got your anchor account. Those distributor shows, those regional distributor shows, as Alex mentioned, where people are writing orders, they're a great way to hit the smaller retailers that you're not necessarily going to have as much, without pounding the pavement or picking up the phone or trying to mass email those ones and twos, smaller chains. Everyone knows Bristol, Lazy, Erewhon, Jimbo's, Gelson's, Lawson's. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody. All those guys, everyone knows those. But those smaller players that attend those shows, oftentimes that's your way to get in with them, as opposed to trying a cold call or knocking on the door trying to catch a manager or buyer when they're in the office. It's very hard. So I think that's something to think about with those regional shows. They're a lot less expensive. The people that are writing the orders are there and ready to place orders oftentimes. So keep that in mind. As far as schedules go, the bigger show, the more hectic the schedule. I think I've talked about this a zillion times. My philosophy at the shows was, ideally, I try and turn my name tag around or not wear one if I can get past security and get into the show floor, so that people don't latch into, I think at Expo West, they color code the buyers and retailers so people know what, that's who they're talking to. So if I could sneak around that, I would, but that being said, I tried as hard as possible in my roles for that matter, not just as an executive, but when I was in the buying days, early days, to not overload my schedule. I really wanted the freedom, especially the larger shows, to get up and down the aisles and to look at products and get ideas for innovation and new items to bring into categories. And if I'm setting up meetings, that takes me away. Typically, those were off the show floor in a room or in a common area or something like that, and it really took me out of my rhythm getting up and down the aisles, and also just that time, right? I mean, Expo West, for example, is just such a massive show, and how many different halls and the crowds. And so if I'm setting up meetings, I'm not able to really cover the ground that I want to cover. So, but if I was scheduling meetings, I would keep them brief. I would try to do some homework in advance for brands or categories brands that I was interested in that I haven't brought in yet. Number one. Number two, categories that I needed help in, whether the numbers are down or we need an influx of products or something like that. I try to avoid meeting with existing brands that I had during show hours. I would try and do that like a breakfast or a dinner or drinks or something like that, because I'm already doing business with those folks. And if that's the case, ideally, I have a relationship with, whether it's a broker, whether it's a brand directly or someone, that they should be feeding me new items. And from my mindset at those shows was, I'm not here to build necessarily on existing business on the show floor. I could do that at a breakfast meeting, a dinner meeting, drinks. I wanted to see new items, new things that I'm not seeing, whether they haven't made it to me yet or they don't have coverage or they're brand new, whatever the case may be. And that was kind of my mindset. But schedule wise, especially if you're at a larger retailer, you're probably going to have some kind of meeting for breakfast, as I mentioned. So you've got a limited time to get going there. More than likely, you have some kind of event planned, whether it's a dinner or one of the after events with somebody else. So you've got a small window, call it maybe 10 o'clock till, you're probably exhausted by 5 o'clock. But, and that's assuming you didn't break for lunch. It's just, there's just so much going on that it is truly overwhelming. And Alex mentioned, if you are attending the show and walking it, the last thing you want to do, and I've talked about this many, many times before too, is stalk a buyer, right? You see that color-coded bridge or the badge, or maybe you know them from LinkedIn or something, and you're following them up and down the aisles. It's really creepy. Number one. Number two, it really puts off the individual that you're doing that to. They're trying to go about their business. They probably have tunnel vision or somewhere specific they're trying to get to, and you're coming up behind them and stopping them. And again, it's just being tactful. And think of yourself. I always say this too. Put yourself on the car lot. You go to look at a car, and if you want help, you're probably going to go inside the office and ask for somebody if you really, really want somebody. Otherwise, you kind of want some space to get up and down and look at the stickers and kind of peek in the windows. And when you're ready, you'll look for somebody, right? But if they come out to you the minute you get there, it kind of gives you this factor like, oh man, now I've got to deal with this person, and I can't look and I can't talk. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's this common psychology, and then, so it's great points. And, one thing when you're, and we'll go through our sponsors in a second here, but when you're talking also with the buyer, they give you the time, be sensitive to how much time you're taking and just get to the point, which I've talked about also a zillion times on the show. They have tunnel vision, they're busy, they're distracted, they have many things going on. It's better to say something very quick and say, here's what it is. No, you're super busy. Here's my card. Let me get your card. I'm just going to send you an email once you get settled back into the office, maybe a few days after the show, right? I'll give you some time to settle back in because you have a pile of paperwork. And I just want you to remember who I am when I reach out to you, and we can set up a formal meeting via Zoom, or I could fly out and see you at your office. Mic drop, done. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, that was cool. He didn't take a lot of my time. He didn't blab. That's always a plus for a buyer.
Right. And I think the other piece with that too is it's okay to ask what's the best way to follow up? Is it email? Is it text? Is it, I don't know, is it LinkedIn? What's the best way? Number one. And when's the best time? Ask them. If it's a category manager, they should know when the reviews are, right? As far as what their categories are. So to your point, yeah, it's always good to wait a little bit after the show, but if the review is for 6 months, get that information now, especially if you're there at the show, someone's in front of you, and they know the review is 6 months away. Ask when the best time to follow up, especially if you don't know yourself when the review is, right? So, contacting the week after the show is good. It's a good practice not to do it right away. But if the review is later, contacting them the week after the show really isn't going to do you much good. You need to hit it when you need to hit it. So you really just need to utilize the shows to get out to get the most out of it. What are your objectives? Is it to meet people? Is it to talk to certain retailers? Is it to get category review? What, and go in there with kind of a plan of attack and work on, just kind of checking the boxes. So I know we got to mention our sponsors. So
Yeah, well said. All right, so we have our episode sponsor, which is Revival Tea Company. You can go to www.revivalteacompany.com. They are leading the revival of tea, and they aspire to be the Starbucks of tea shops. And they have teologists there. They have mixologists that make you customize tea blends that are highly curated for a sophisticated tea drinker or just an everyday tea drinker. They have 4 locations, and they are looking to open 50 franchise locations in the next 10 years, which is huge. They have their crowdfunding campaign, which we can post on here, which is wefunder.com/revival tea. They're one of my clients at Genius Dreams. I helped them build their campaign page and help them launch it. And they are approaching 400,000 raised, and they have a goal of 500,000. So help them get there. The minimum investment on WeFunder is $250. The max investment can go all the way up to 100,000 if you want. So help them get there. Anything helps. Every dollar counts. And invest on wefunder.com/revival tea. And we have Alessio with I think Azarasi. So great to see you, sir. So and let me know if I'm pronouncing everything right if I screwed that up. We've been emailing back and forth. He's a great guy that's launching a product here, and he can comment on it, and I'll post it here, Alessio, if you want me to. So our 2 ongoing sponsors are My Way 3PL. They have a logistics solutions born from seeing all the pain points CPG brands go through with other logistics providers. With a solid foundation of proven results and cost savings and operational enhancement, they offer a true balance of both strategy and execution. Partner with My Way 3PL to streamline your logistics and scale from small to large, or from large to even larger. Go to myway3pl.com/CPG vibes. You get your first pallet for free for the first month. So 111, first pallet for free for the first month. And they have a vast selection of distribution centers for ambient, shelf-stable products across the United States. myway3pl.com/CPG vibes. Our second sponsor, ongoing, is Range Me. They're the smartest way to get your brand in front of thousands of retailers. They have over 15,000 buyers. They work with retailers like Target, Albertsons, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Publix, Kroger, Wegmans, H-E-B, Food Lion, Giant Foods, Fresh Market, and let's not forget Jimbo's. It was a hilarious picture on LinkedIn of Jimbo, I think partying with a couple people. It was at one of the recent events, right? I'm trying to remember which one. But
I think it was a dinner with Derek from Prana and Billy and Jason. At least that's when I saw. Yeah.
Okay, so it was a dinner.
Yep.
Okay, so they came out and visited them, and then they went to dinner. That's right. Yeah. So rangeme.com/CPG vibes. You gotta go to that landing page in order to get that significant discount. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. If you are a CPG brand and you're not on Range Me, you need to be on Range Me. It's as important as having a product or having a salesperson, right? All vital things to running a business. Range Me is part of that formula for success. Okay, so kind of circling back to it, shall we pivot to our other topic? Okay,
let's do it.
All right, so this is we're doing a expanded version. This is really fun, and you guys can shout out any brands that you love, which is stuff we love. And I'm going to put in the the music here. Let us know you can hear us okay. I'll kick it off because I always like to kick these things off. I've been drinking this one here. Now I'm going to file also just a small complaint, right, with this brand. I love this brand. I've been drinking it for probably almost 20 years at this point. They've been around for almost 30 years, since 1995, which is GT Kombucha Synergy. The only problem is they took off USDA organic off their bottles for cost reasons. GT Dave, who I also really love, he did a public announcement on why they did that, because of costs. But your brand is your brand, and it's been organic for such a long time. I recommend as quickly as possible to switch it back to organic, because I'm sure you're losing some people. You're not losing me, because I'm loyal and faithful to your brand. But it used to say on the front, organic kombucha, and they changed it kind of quietly. I didn't even notice it to raw kombucha, but still one of the highest quality kombuchas in the market. But I'm sure they might be losing some people to Brew Doctor or others because those are organic and GT is not. GT is a beast. They have probably $1 billion in sales at this point or near it. So it's not hurting them too much, but the sooner you can switch back to USDA organic, the better. And then the other one that I'll mention here, have you tried this? Real cereal?
I've not. I've seen it. I'm a fan of a lot of what they do, but I've not tried it.
Yeah. So I'm going to try it. I tried some this morning, but I'm going to try this flavor. They have the cornflakes flavor, but then they have the organic rice crisps. And this is at Sprouts nationally and many other retailers. But and they're in Whole Foods as well. Ingredients. You know how like with Rice Krispies and all that, there's like 15, 20 ingredients and sugar and all this. Ingredients. Organic brown rice. That's it. One ingredient.
Nice.
And it's puffed. So it has that same texture as Rice Krispies. And that's the Real Cereal Company. I actually talked to Daniel and Tom the other day just to get to know their brand and get to know them. And they're based in Los Angeles. So they're based in somewhere in North Hollywood, which is not far from where I am here in Redondo Beach. So those are, I have 4 more, but I'm going to take a pause and flip it back to you.
Excuse me. So Alex is going to ones that you've probably seen, or, definitely in the case of GTs, if you haven't, you've been living in a rock or under a rock or something. But for me, I've got, selfishly, some of our clients that I think are just getting started and can use some exposure, but I'm excited to share with our audience. So the first one is Nova. And so this is a drink mix, and it has CBD, it has adaptogens, it has organic mushroom blend within it, and it's sustainably grown mushrooms. Alex, I had to get my my handy dandy sheet out here so I didn't miss anything, but it's got cordyceps, it's got lion's mane, it's got shiitake, it's got turkey tail, it's got reishi, it's got king trumpet. All those in there, and it's an organic blend, and it's got nootropics, and it's really working for to help your cognitive, obviously with the mushrooms and everything, and just overall balance of it's a drink mix, so it's a powdered drink mix, and it's just great stuff. The founder, it's a woman-owned business, fantastic founder, really excited to get started. But the tagline on the front says it's a wellness drink mix for fierce performance, energy, mood, and focus. Nice. So really excited about that. Great packaging, really neat. Here's the sticks inside here. You can see. So you can take it on the go, easy to go. So there's that. I think I did put up the. Can you mix it cold? Absolutely. I mix it cold. I love this stuff. It's good. Tastes great. Good people. So you got a couple more. I'll get one more here. This one's fun. And let me see if I have a link here. I thought I had a link. Let's see. I've got a link, and
I just want to make a correction here. So sorry, Alessio. It's Ariana Naturals. So sorry about that. It's Ariana Naturals. He's based in Ontario, and it's a powered, versatile adaptogen, antidepressant, mood reliever, antioxidant. So sorry, my man, and we'll talk soon.
All right. So my other one, or next one, is Pre, and they have a number of products centered around Manuka honey. But what I have in front, and you can see that the bag is torn because I'm definitely into this bag. They have Manuka honey dark chocolate patties.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and they are exceptional. They're exceptional. So
how do you get
you
this?
mentioned small, minimal ingredients. So it has it's not organic, but it is Manuka honey. It's 60 plus MGO, 99%.
By the way, organic honey is hard to find. It's very hard to source. So most honey is not organic. Yeah. Right.
And it's got 99% dark chocolate, 99% cacao, orange oil, and that's it. Manuka oil, Manuka honey, dark chocolate, orange oil. That's it. And if you think this, and they have mints, but that one's already gone. So, but yeah, I put their website up here. And there's not much left in this one either, but I try and only eat one at a time, but it's very, very hard to do. But great founder as well, great team. And I put the link there. They have, you name honey product, they have it. They have sticks, they have jars, they have all sorts of things. But I'm hooked on those right now. So yeah,
There's the website. So
look at
they
that.
have-
And I was gonna say, if you go towards the top, I think they have the sweets. If you look under the sweets section, you
Salt
go under.
treats.
Yep.
More.
Chocolate bags, so you can see all the different flavors. They've got lollipops. They've got nut. Yeah, it just keeps
Man,
going.
that
and
looks
going.
good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, not to say that two different products, but it's very reminiscent of Evolved chocolate, which I don't have it because if I buy it, I just eat the entire bag, and it's really a problem. I have late night snacking syndrome, right? Late night snacking, LNSS. Okay, but these are amazing. Like they're at Whole Foods. I don't have them in front of me right now, but they've really and what they're doing too. I talked to them at the trade show. The only thing I don't like about these is they use monk fruit, and they should just use real coconut sugar. I like coconut sugar, low glycemic, versus sweetening it only with monk fruit because it just comes off a little bit too strong. So they're actually reformulating with some coconut sugar, I think early next year for some of these, but it doesn't matter because it still tastes amazing. It's scrumptious. The texture is great. So that's Evolved chocolate. And they did a rebrand. Remember they used to have the monkey on there?
Right. Yep.
And they took that off, and now it looks like it's something in Beverly Hills. It's very, very premium. They have white chocolate. They have dark chocolate. They have brownie batter, dairy-free, keto, plant-based, paleo, fair trade, Rainforest Alliance, and then USDA organic. So the other one I will mention, it's going to be in a combo, kind of a power combo. Shoryuken. All right, that's where I remember power combo from. Street Fighter. All right. And let me take off the shared screen here. Stop sharing. Are these. So I know it's your favorite combination. We
Good
have
stuff.
the Rising Tide Focus Creamer with Lion's Mane MC2. I might have shown this last week. I can't remember. And then we have
think
this.
so.
Yeah, maybe I didn't. So, and then we have the Mud Water. And Mud Water has masala chai, black tea, ginger, cardamom, cloves, nutmeg, black pepper, cacao, lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, reishi, cinnamon. Cinnamon's very, very good for blood pressure. And they use Ceylon cinnamon. There's studies that other cinnamons have too many metals in it. Did you read about that?
Mhm.
So Ceylon cinnamon is pretty much the best. And it has way less metals, if any. Turmeric and Himalayan salt, all in here, and it tastes like just kind of it's bitter because they don't add sugar to it. So you have the Mud Water, which is the cacao kind of for your morning ritual, and you have the Lion's Mane MC2 oil coconut creamer. You put some honey in there, Manuka honey, right? You mix it up, and I put some little dairy milk, the Alexandria dairy milk, to top it off. And it tastes like a hot chocolate, and it's super healthy, stimulates your brain, makes you feel good, gives you calm and sustainable energy. So those are the two. And I'll throw in one more here.
I was going to say, I have one more too. You go ahead and I'll do mine.
Okay. I have one more after your one more. So, so two more. I have two one mores. Is Vital Proteins. This company's great. I love that it helps you with has collagen, helps with hair, skin, nails. That's why I look so beautiful. And but what I really like about what they've done is they made this like a more sustainable. I don't know if it's plastic free. I doubt it is. But before, remember, you had to twist off the cap.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's you pull a little string and it opens like that.
Quaker oatmeal.
Yeah, exactly. So they took away the plastic cap to lessen the plastic by, I believe, over 50%. And this is nationwide in obviously many stores, but I got mine from Costco.
Nice. All right. Well, I have, and you know this brand, Alex, but I don't know if you know this particular product. I have my friends at Kokata.
Yep.
I have their Dunks, which are little snack packs, snack packs, right? And so this one is their coconut spread, their brownie coconut spread, and pretzels. So you could throw those in your bag. You got pretzels, you got their delicious coconut spread, and again,
like a healthy Nutella.
Exactly, but it tastes better. But it's funny. I'm on a roll here with founders and whatnot. But that team at Kokata with Bree and Jared and Adam, great people. unique product, not just what I showed you, their actual spread, their coconut spread. I don't think there's anything like it on the market. And just something for me, when I have that in my cupboard, which I think I still do, not very much, I can eat a spoonful of that, and that gives me my sweet fix. It's just so delicious, but versatile with the ways you can use it. Just awesome stuff, and great people. So that's all.
That's all. That's it. And there's also, Gavin is saying the Dunkables. This is a healthier version of
You got it.
Dunkables. Also want to give a big shout out to, now that I know how to pronounce their name, is Breeze. I was pronouncing it Brez last week.
Mhm.
And they sent out a sample package. They get one to you? Yeah.
Yes.
Have you tried?
I haven't got it.
I haven't
tried it yet.
either.
I haven't tried it, but I did get it. Thank you for that. We should put that. I'll get that link up here.
Yeah, it's a weekend for me. It's a weekend drink because it has a little THC intertwined in there, along with CBD, I believe. So, but we'll get the link up. You can take a look, and we're going to be cracking those open on the weekend here. And they're one of the. I think it's the fastest growing sparkling beverage online, right? I mean, they're at a 36 million run rate. It's crazy, and they're barely in retail right now. They're just doing almost everything online, and they are releasing a new SKU. Did you see that on LinkedIn?
I did not see that.
Yeah, so they're going to be releasing a non-THC, non-CBD SKU, which is going to have L-theanine and functional mushrooms. So they're going after the nootropic category now.
What didn't we get? I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we got one that didn't have.
Maybe
didn't
they sent it. I looked at it and I saw all THC, but I couldn't.
No. There's you should have got at least what I received was the single size, the double size, and then the other one I believe is called, that you're referring to, it's called Flow, and it's it has 2,200 milligrams of lion's mane, cacao, black seed oil, and theanine, and it is THC and CBD free. So yes, so awesome. You should have that.
Okay, I will check it out. It's probably there, and I just quickly put it in the fridge and didn't see the other 6-pack. But here's their website, and so it's Live Free. It's cool, and here's the flow and thank you to the Breeze team for sending this, by the way. So thank you so much.
Very much.
Yeah, and they sent it so fast. I mean, we mentioned it last week organically, just because we're taking notice how much they're taking off and growing. But yes, THC and CBD free, cognitive enhancing, uplifting, 2,200 milligrams of lion's mane, cacao, black seed oil. Black seed oil is also great for anti-inflammatory. It's black cumin seed oil, and L-theanine for energy, sparkling with notes of Italian lemon and elderflower for almost a relaxative effect. So, and pretty new, and looks like we're one of the first to get it. That's really cool. So, all right, so that's that. And then my last one, this is going to be a totally fucking boring last one, man. I can't believe I'm ending on this one. Pumpkin seeds. So organic. Nice. And they're it has organic sprouted pumpkin seeds and sea salt. The reason that has 8 grams of protein per serving, it's like lightly roasted, so it's nice and crunchy. It's from a company called Go Raw. The reason that I'm talking about it is because this is for something that's like so clean, it's sprouted. It's at Costco. This is a huge bag. And so like they have it at other stores across the country. Go Raw is huge. But I love that Costco is carrying something so clean, organic, gluten-free, and non-GMO. And it was $4 off. Wait, it was from 13 down to 9. And I swear the pallet was getting thrashed. People were just throwing them in their carts, and I had to climb over people to get to it. So, but pumpkin seeds have good oils, good fats. So, yeah, check out. If you don't have pumpkin seeds, you might like it, right? And it's also less, it's easier in your digestion than, let's say, almonds or cashews. So it's good. Okay, well, that's the stuff we love. Do you have any other last minute one-ups?
Nope, that's it. We'll roll with that.
Okay. All right. So again, we have the $100 gift card we're going to be giving out with Revival Tea from Revival Tea Company, which is the sponsor for this week on our episode 136 of CPG Vibes. But also we need to mention, and we want to mention, our ongoing sponsors, right? So we have Range Me and My Way 3PL. My Way 3PL is a logistics solutions born from seeing all the pain points CPG brands go through with other logistics providers, with a solid foundation of proven results in cost savings and operational enhancement. They offer a true balance of both strategy and execution. Partner with MyWay 3PL to streamline your logistics and scale from small to large, or from large to even larger. myway3pl.com/CPG vibes, and you get your first pallet for free. They take great care of their customers. They have, just great express service. And Wade has visited, as he mentioned earlier in the episode. He's worked with them. He's talked with them. He's visited their distribution centers. He has pictures literally on the ground floor in one of their warehouses. They have distribution centers across the country, and they really work primarily with ambient. And they also do 3PL stuff with online orders as well. So you can ask about that when you fill out that form at myway3pl.com. That's myway, the number 3pl.com. And MyWay, like the Frank Sinatra song. And then we have Range Me. They're the smartest way to get your brand in front of thousands of retailers. Experience always on brand exposure, exclusive buyer discovery opportunities, and access to proprietary insights, research, and resources. They work with over 15,000. It's still like, I never get over that fact. It's 15,000 buyers from, Target, Albertsons, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Publix, Kroger, Wegmans, HEB, Food Lion, Giant Foods, Fresh Market, Fresh Time, Jimbo's, Rouse's, every place that Wade has worked for his entire life. They even had your restaurant on there, right? That used to run. So
That'd be scary.
Yeah. If you want the story on that, you can message Wade on LinkedIn for the backstory on his restaurant. So, and that's not all. Range Me combined with ECRM sessions, right? We're talking about that, preparing for trade shows, but also prepare for the ECRM sessions where you can meet with buyers one-on-one in different areas of the country. Joe Tarnowski is heading up that division. And you can save also up to 30%. 30%. I keep saying it. I can say it again. You have to have this service. Genius Juice had it for years. They have services that are lower if you want, but if you want the premium and pro to get full access, get meetings, all those things, get samples out to the buyers immediately, it's usually $13.99, $9.99. It's half a pallet of your raw materials to sign up for a year's worth of Range Me. Go to rangeme.com/CPG vibes. And to get this 30% off, you need to fill out that form. Also, just want to quickly mention, going back to Revival Tea, it's a $100 gift card. Make sure to invest on their platform, on their campaign platform, I should say, wefunder.com/Revival Tea. They're at 376,000. And I think, Wade, I know we're at time here, but I just want to quickly show before we get into our trivia question to win that $100 card for Revival Tea. But here is their campaign page. I think they actually jumped 1,000 during our show. So that's
Nice.
cool. And so they're at 376. I believe they were at 375 in the beginning of the episode. And they have a great team. One of their team members is one of the lead franchise owners of Dutch Bros, which is a fast-growing franchise coffee company. So, but cool stuff. Has a whole story here. Has their growth story, their trajectory, hitting millions in revenue, their tea shops and where they're located, all that stuff. So make sure to go to wefunder.com/Revival Tea, and also their website, revivalteacompany.com. Last thing, and then we'll get into our question here. Are you pumped for this episode next week or what?
It's a big one.
It's a big one. This is the first of its kind on our platform. So this is October 4th, right? So this is October 4th, Friday, for episode 137. It's the Expert Series, Volume 4, Women in CPG. And we got a lot of requests for this, and we've been wanting to do this for a while, and now it's finally here starting next week. And we'll have multiple series, right, for women in CPG. We have Nicole Dawes, who is the co-founder or the founder of Nixie Sparkling Soda, and she also founded Late July, which exited. We have Karen Danujaja, who is the founder of Bloom. And we have Lon, I think I mispronounced her name last week, Lon Pham, and she is the founder of Sang Vietnamese Coffee. So all three of them will be on our show next week for our special edition series of Women in CPG at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern, right here on LinkedIn live, and we'll be posting about it. They'll be posting about it. You'll hear plenty about it starting on Monday of next week.
All right.
What is the pregunta? The question. You got one in the sack?
I can make one if you don't have one ready. I'm going to make it easy because we're over time.
Sure.
What do you think?
Go ahead.
Let's make it. Let's make it easy. Let's make
Go
it
for
easy.
it. You've been having a drink the breeze flow, and you're flowing.
There you go. I showed a Manuka honey product.
Ooh.
My question is what is the brand name, and what was the flavor?
Can we change the rules so that the co-host can win these damn prizes? I mean, come on, man. I know it's Revival Tea, but I love that product too. But.
What was the brand name, and what was the flavor?
Brand name and flavor
of the Manuka honey product I showed.
I was salivating so much I missed the brand name. All right.
That's why I figured it might be a little bit hard, but if you scroll up in your comments, you might be able to find it. I'm not giving anyone the hint here. I figured Gavin was ready to go with this one. I figured between him and Hugh, I thought they would have it.
Doesn't come in denim, Gavin. Sorry.
He'll wear the jacket. He's got it covered.
Literally.
All right. Come on. You got a delay. There's not even guesses yet, Alex. Is it that hard? I didn't think it was that hard.
Are they stumped?
Joseph, right? Joseph, you've got it. There's also flavor. If we don't get an answer here in the next 20 seconds, we'll give it to you. There's also you've got everything right except it was a specific flavor.
Like fruit, right? There's a fruit.
Yeah, it was a fruit.
And it's a fruit that is big in Florida.
We was gonna say he's got it. He's pretty much got it nailed. So let's give it to him. He was being
super active on this episode, and
let's give it to him.
Joseph,
I was
gonna say from Gavin and Hugh. So
yep. Joseph, you got it. It was the flavor is orange, but you nailed the brand. You nailed the chocolate Manuka. You got there. It is.
And he got it anyway.
Good job, Joseph. You got it. So Joseph, email the show cpgvibes100@gmail.com to claim your Revival Tea prize.
Cool.
All right.
And I think that is a wrap. This was a great episode, and this stuff we love stuff really gets people going as well, and if you have stuff that you love, please email us before the show and we'll go out and buy it, try it, and we'll mention it on the show. So we definitely want to come through for the brands. So again, next week, episode 137 will be the Women in CPG episode. Make sure to tune in for that. You'll see some information on it starting on Monday or Tuesday. And besides that, just everyone have a wonderful weekend. Wade, love you, buddy. Take good care and enjoy.
Bye, everybody.